Hi, welcome everybody to the Ask an Angel free call. We have it every Sunday at 2 o'clock. Anybody and everybody in the world is welcome. So lots going on the planet. Energies, a lot up, intense, right? We had that earthquake in Turkey and Syria that was just heart-wrenching. And many things have been occurring since then and continue to. That's part of life. But today we're really tuning in and focusing on the derailment of the train in Ohio and the consequences that that has for our soil, for our water, for our air, for Mother Earth, and for us as human beings. So about a week or so ago, the goddess Danu, who happens to be a Celtic goddess from the region in Ireland called County Kerry, which coincidentally or not coincidentally, of course, is where my heritage is from, where I'm from, came to me and was like, we have to work with the rivers. We have to work with the rivers. We have to work with the rivers. And I'm like, okay, but I'm in the Kali key code right now. I gotta have my hands full because Kali's a lot. And they're like, yeah, but we gotta work with the rivers. I'm like, okay, we gotta work with the rivers. So I kind of like listened to that and put it a little bit on the back shelf because all those who are the personal power key code with me know that we're working with Kali, and it's like a lot. And Kali's energy is so powerful and fierce, but it's this fierce love that brings action, which I think is what we all really need right now, is to take action. So when this happened, I got another knock on the door during sleep time, not only from the goddess Danu, but from the elemental beings. And then the fairies came and the elves came and the dwarfs came and the elves came. And I was like, okay, standing room only in my bedroom with these Celtic, fairy, fun, joyful, playful energies. And I was like, okay, this is fun and sweet. I want to tap into this. I definitely want to do a code on this. This is great. And then the incident happened in Ohio, and I really don't tune in much to the news, so I wasn't really tapping into it. And they kept showing it to me, and they're like, no, this is a really big deal. And I was like, okay. So I looked into it further, and it is a really big deal. And they showed me that they put a dome around the area and contained it. And they've been showing me that for a while. And first of all, I want to thank all of you for participating today and taking time out of your day to do work for the planet. Thank you. God bless you all. And also want to thank my team for everything they do, and for all the Ascended Masters and I Am members who are there with me every day, all week long, doing this profound work, and for Debishri, who does the beautiful artwork. So I kind of DM back and forth with Debishri often. She's in India, and she had like on her Instagram feed a crystal, and I really connected with it. It felt important. And I said, what is that? And she said it was a crystal that she got that fire came up through, and it was something that was connected with the Ganges in India. And I don't understand all of it because we haven't had a chance to talk, but she sent me a picture of it. And I want to share it with you because after looking at it, it feels like energetically it's the dome that the nature spirits and the beings have put around this area. And then she also put together, like in the last hour or something, a beautiful piece of art that helps us tune in more to Danu. So I want to show you that. I'm going to share my screen real quick so that you can see that. Give me one moment. So hopefully you can see this. So we have this energetic crystal, and the crystal that I'm choosing to work with today is the one that I've had for 30, 40 years old. And so if you have a crystal with you and you want to tune into it, it will help you tune into elemental beings when we go in to do the work today. Just to feel the energy and connect with the spirit of the crystal. Sometimes we love how they look and they feel and we enjoy them, but really taking the time to connect with the spirit of it, and also connecting with the spirit of the water as we work with the water. So this is kind of interesting. We've got this dome kind of feeling, and then there's people in there, and beneath it feels to me a lot like the seepage of the toxins going into the earth there, right? So we don't want them to go below the water table. We don't want them to get into the groundwater and then start to really spread out. For people who aren't familiar with the geography, this has the potential of affecting many, many states and millions of people. I'm on the border of Ohio in Pennsylvania. I'm about 500 miles from the site. And then here is also on the right, we've got Danyo's energy, this beautiful water, river, Celtic goddess who's here to support us. We also have from the 1212 activation that we did, we have Oshun in there in the center from Africa. We've got the triple spiral, which we'll probably connect in today. And then below that is this image that has a story to it from when I was away recently and these goddesses were coming up. So I just want you to kind of feel the vibration of both of those things before we go into meditation and to bring yourself into familiarity with what we're going to do. And so if you're new to this call, because there may be a few new people, my name's Kelly and I have been channeling, I'll stop the share, since 1989, and I'm a conscious channel. I wasn't always that way. My eyes are closed. I tone and make these sounds, and then I connect with the Archangel Raphael. It's the primary energy that I channel. However, over the years, I've had the capacity to tune into many different beings and deities, and Raphael sometimes is sort of like a translator for them, for me. Right now, we're working with Kali and Sekhmet and like power energy, which I think has ignited this passion, at least coming up in me, of really feeling need to be vocal and to gather us to take action and to use our capacities for healing on the planet right now, because it's not a time of inaction. And I'm all about love and peace and meditating and light, but I'm also about doing what we need to do to change, because Raphael shows us that we've got these three timelines of potentials that are in front of us, and we're at a critical point in humanity, and we can get to choose what direction it is that we're going to go in, depending on what frequency we're going to hold and how many of us are going to wake up. So we're going to talk to Raphael a little bit about that and about timelines and how to navigate and jump timelines and choose timelines and create timelines. So that's going to be of importance, and that's the next key code we'll be working with. It'll start in a couple weeks, and then we're going to go into the meditation today, and we're going to work with the elementals. So we'll work with the earth elemental, the air, and the water, and primarily Danyu, and then any other beautiful energies that may want to come in or show up for us in this process. And what they showed me is that they've got the dome and it's been created. And then what we're going to be doing is going in and doing cleanup of the toxic material. And we're going to clean it up in 3 different ways. They gave me very specific instructions. And so when I channel it, it'll become clearer to you, but I just want to give you a feeling or an overview. We're going to pull it out in one way by purifying it, by pushing air into it, and then that's going to disperse it, and then the air element will allow it to neutralize and begin to diffuse itself. We're going to go into the water and work with a filtration system to filtrate out the toxins. And then for the earth, we're going to go in and work with things that support the absorbing of the toxins in a natural way that can kind of contain and hold them. All right, so let's just go for it. And if we feel next Sunday that we want to keep working on this particular project, then we will do so, unless some other event occurs between now and then, which is very likely. But it feels like it's really important. And so we'll see what they say. So I'm going to channel. If you haven't heard me channel before, when I tone, I make all these singing sounds and my hands move all over the place. So I'm going to turn off the volume. So it'll just be completely dead silent for a moment or two while I connect with the beings. Then I come in and say hello, and then Casey's our host. He'll say hello back. Everybody's muted. You can say hello back to Raphael as well. That starts to get the energy rolling and connecting and moving. We're going to want to hold hands energetically so that we're tuned in. I know that there's some people on the call that are working with singing bowls. There's people who have gone to sacred sites today, others who have held ceremony, who are chanting. And so all this energy is so beautiful, so welcomed, and so powerful. All right. Okay, so I'm going to tone and I'll be right back.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, hello,
Hello.
hello, hello.
Hello.
Wow. We are very delighted, as always, to be here and to assist all of you in the unfolding of the evolutionary process of your human experience here on Earth. And we are here and have always been here and continue to be here assisting you, however it is that when something unfolds in your human experience that was created by you as humans, we can participate in supporting you in the clearing and the healing of this, but you must also participate. Otherwise, the integration of the energy does not come to full fruition due to the fact of your participation. And although you may be wondering that you have not participated in what has occurred that you are talking about today, that is occurring in this particular geographical location in the country of the United States, in the place of Ohio, and through the deep greed of many, it is that there is a full responsibility in all parties in any way in which there is the slightest aspect or vibration of greed or hierarchy or a need to control or manipulate or take from more than what is needed. That energy itself must be healed throughout all and everyone on your earth as you start to come back into balance. And so it is that we connected with the vibration of Danu as she came in very strongly to communicate with Kelly, as Kelly has been gracious to be an open vessel to allow us to communicate with all of you for some time now. And we are also in appreciation of that. And in that process, we are here to assist. And it is that the nature, spirits, and beings are here and very present for this process and have always been here and were here way before you were here. And although you cannot see them and sometimes they may feel like a fairy tale to you, it is through the great changes that are occurring and the crises that are unfolding on your planet will force you to shift your perception. And in the shifting of your perception, the aliveness and the remembering and the connecting to those things that are on what you perceive or think of as the other side of the veil or in another dimension, or that are pretend in a way or not real, will become more and more palpable, more real, more present for you as they have always been there. And yet there has been a doorway or a cloak that has covered your perception. And so you are being forced and pushed rapidly through this dark canal that many of you call a dark night almost for the collective. And it is waking or forcing you through the squeezing of its energy to revisit and to reawaken to who you are, to the gifts that lie within, to the power that is within, and to see behind the illusion, to push aside the energies of what many might even refer to as the matrix, or a vibration that holds you in a certain frequency that limits you from who it is that you really are. And these energies that are coming so rapidly, one after another, are the contractions as they are getting closer and closer together. It is the speeding up as you move through the canal, and it is not always easy, and it can be painful, but it requires breathing. It requires being present. It requires remembering why it is that you are pushing, where it is that you are going, with the recognition and the knowing that at the end of this, something new is born, something is brought forward, but it takes a courage and strength and stamina and love to move through it in the remembering of what is going to take place as you are birthing an entire new world. And yet you ask often, well, what is the time frame for this? For we have been talking about this and hearing about this for so long. When, Raphael, when is this new world going to be here? Well, in your linear time, we don't know how quickly you will be able to move through these processes, or how many of you will be able to do it. But we are asking of you, and as we have asked you today, and as the elementals have asked you to be an active participant in this birthing process, as well as a midwife, as well as a doula, as well as being on the sidelines, you must also actively be moving forward and giving birth to rise these new frequencies. And so it is that the timelines are in front of you, and the water is moving rapidly, and it is rising, and it is changing, and it is moving around, and it is melting, and it is solidifying, and it is getting colder, and it is getting hotter, and it is very erratic, and it's going to continue to do so. And there will be some water events that will be coming that will be just may feel a bit overwhelming, but this is a cleansing, a clearing, an awakening that's occurring, and a remembering that you and the water are interconnected, that you are not separate in any way, that all the water that is within you, as you hold the frequency of love, as you hold the frequency of gratitude, as you hold the frequency of forgiveness, the three keys to the ascension process, that vibration reverberates out into the molecular structure, the crystalline energy of the water itself, and it has to, and it does connect to all the tributaries, all the rivers, all the lakes, all the bodies of water into your great oceans through what is moving through you. And to think that it does not, or that you are not important, or that you are separate from it, you will see you cannot separate yourself. You cannot separate yourself from what is happening, for it may not always be in your backyard, it may be in a distant land, but it is always there, and it is interwoven and interconnected, as are you. And it is this remembering that you are not separate, and this willingness to love yourself, to adore yourself, to move into these more joyful, enlightened vibrations and energize them with the fierceness and the compassion of the love of the energies that we're bringing forth, such as Kali and Sekhmet and their power. It is the merging of these two energies that will create the changes that are needed at this time. And so when we attune to this place where this derailment occurred, it was due to many different factors that were lined up for long periods of time, that ultimately most of them came from an unwillingness to look at the larger picture, or to put safety measures in place, or to look at how it could affect the earth or the people in which were nearby, or those who have less or are more marginalized, how the trains perhaps run through their neighborhoods, and all of these things in which things can be pushed under the rug until your news cycle is finished with that in a day or two, and it is forgotten. And it is one thing after another, and you are exhausted to the core. And we understand that. But this is not a time for complacency. This is not a time to turn away. We are not in any way suggesting to plug into the news. Absolutely not. But we are asking for you to be conscious, to be aware, and to move in energetically as we continue working and teaching you how to work with energy, how to move into other dimensions, how to expand your vibration, how to open up to other possibilities, how to move into timelines, how to travel through stargates. That is the energy that is opening your perception through the crisis that is unfolding. Because it is this dark time, in a sense, in a way that it might feel like right now, is this pushing you to awaken the gifts that you have forgotten about. And sometimes that you have to reach a point where you are up against something where until action is taken. It seems to be part of the human nature for whatever reason. And so your back, in a way, is up against the wall and on many different levels. And we feel this for you. And we are here to assist you. And we tell you that all the time. The angels from the angelic realm, as myself, are here to heal you, to love you, to remind you of your divinity, of your power, of who it is that you are. As are the ascended masters, as are the gods and goddesses, are the beings in Telos, and are all of the elemental beings and those that live and dwell within the earth. Then they are here today, and usually they are filled with playfulness, and they love to joke, and they love to have little wings and flirt about, and they are fun and silly, and they bring bubbles of joy. And they want to show themselves to you. They are asking for you to remember them. Perhaps as a child, perhaps you saw them once in the forest in the moss. Perhaps you saw them floating by. Perhaps you felt them at night near your bed. The twinkling of their light, perhaps in the evening. Tuning to them. They want you to return to this childlike feeling, this willingness to expand your imagination, to pierce the veil, to go through the gate, the portal, the opening, the space into timelines of remembering where you unify and collectively work together for the better good of all. And so they have rushed in very fast as this explosion occurred. And this explosion is more serious than perhaps you are understanding. And the ramifications of these chemicals are very long lasting. And yet these beings have been able to quarantine, in a sense, have been able to hold and contain it. But anything that happens that occurs not by nature itself, but by the involvement of you as humans, must also be participated in you as well. And so you are being invited to come into the dome today, to work with the elementals through your consciousness, through meditation, through your imagination, through your willingness to expand beyond the perception of normal reality, to go into these places and to utilize what needs to be done to clean up, and to invite and to ask that others in human form are on the ground doing the same, in alignment with integrity, in alignment with the highest good for Mother Earth, in alignment with the highest good for the water, in alignment with the highest good for the children and the animals and the mothers and the fathers and the families and the trees and all that it encompasses. And so is there something you are wanting to ask me before we continue on?
I think that what we're going to continue into relates to what I'm going to ask, but I'm really looking for, like you talked about, action, right? And
yes,
what actions should we take in pursuit of, manifesting or shifting the timeline in the direction that is most beneficial for everything that you just talked about?
Becoming conscious, waking up within yourself, conscious of your own relationship to the earth, conscious of your relationship to the water, conscious of your relationship to the food, conscious of your relationship to each other, conscious of your willingness to speak your truth around something when you see it is a blatant lie, conscious to stand up and to stand in your power, to ignite that fire inside, to allow that Kali energy to rise and to speak, for she may come in and destroy, but it is in the destroying, it is in the death, it is in the destruction, it is in the cutting away, it is in the dismantling of everything that the birthing happens, that the rebirth occurs, that something new is born. And so it is the willingness to destroy also inside of you those limiting beliefs, those parts of you that are no longer serving you, those parts that keep you small, those parts that are not in alignment with your authenticity, those parts that are still plugged in like a phone cord, tapped into the old paradigm where you are doing what other people want you to do, or you are still in a rat race, or you are still in the program, you're still following the rules, but you are miserable. It is a willingness to unplug from that, to allow the fierceness of the love that you have for yourself to rise above your fear that you will be in lack. It is the energy that opens you up to the power inside that tells you, I am a divine being, and I am powerful, and I am capable, and to let that energy move through you. So it is a willingness to unplug in some respects, even from that in which is familiar and comfortable, because it's going to get unplugged from you anyway. So if you can unplug from it on your own, then when something like this comes into your neighborhood, or into your store, or into your geographical location, or that earthquake, or that hurricane, or that shooting, or that fire, or whatever comes closer to you, you are not shattered, because you have broken away. You have opened up the space to recognize that you are more than that, that the internal compass of centeredness, of bliss, of peace resides not from the outside projection of your experience, but your willingness to find your center from within. And so it is that all of these chaotic energies are like squeezing you through the birth canal. They're forcing you to wake up. They're like, oh, and then then there's the contraction relaxes, and you go back to your life, and everything's fine. And then another one comes in, and you're so used to them coming in now that you're not even paying attention to most of them, because you can't, because it's too much. But it's not time to ignore it. We're not saying to engage in all the outside things coming at you, but a willingness to face them, to look at them, to heal. And so it requires doing shadow work. It requires healing inside, because the healing that takes place in you, it, of course, interfaces with the healing that occurs collectively as you're all connected, and not all of you are going to be willing to do the work. And so you might say, well, how many of us need to wake up in order for this higher timeline to unfold? Surprisingly, a minority. It is not actually necessary, because a lot of you, not those listening to this, because you are the ones doing the work, but many are just walking around in a deep sleep. And they're not all going to wake up. But it is that as you do that, and in the interconnected web of life, of everything through the fabric of the quantum field, those tingling energies that tickle the molecular structure and the protons within you that are awakened to a higher frequency ripple through and connect along the grid in the entire planet. And when you open up your perception to that which is beyond what you can necessarily see and think, with a willingness to open your mind, that you must recognize that in order to heal what needs to be healed on the planet, it cannot be done from the consciousness in which the pain that was created was born from. It must come from a higher state, which requires looking at things and shifting perspective, perception, and opening that perception. And so these contractions that keep hitting you are for you to get centered, to breathe, to take a moment, to be still, to ground, to be present, to be in the now, not to drop into fear, not to contract in. You can't give birth doing that, right? You have to be breathing through it, but you also have to push. You also have to move. You also have to ignite energy, because if you don't push energy into the quantum field, if you don't put momentum into the wave, then a spike can't occur and nothing can attach to it to create change. So a voltage of energy has to hit it. It is energy that creates change, and depending on the frequency in which it is holding. So when you gather like this today and you say yes to, I am powerful and I can go in through my light body Merkaba, I can travel over to this contaminated energy place, I can look at it and I can go in, not that I'm going to drive to Ohio, but for some of you, that is what is needed. For some of you, you will get on a plane and help get those out of the earthquake that are under the rubble. For others, you will go someplace when there is a hurricane or a flood or a fire, or you will be there during disease or a pandemic to help to heal others. As sometimes it's physical movement, but when that physical action and movement isn't possible, or isn't part of the work that you are doing collectively, you can come together for an hour and you can go energetically as you shift your perception to recognize that you are such a larger being than the one that you see in the body, and that the capacity for you to heal, to communicate, to even teleport, to go to other locations energetically is fully possible. You've been told that's nonsense, but if that's nonsense, what they told you, you have to wake up to realize that it's nonsense to think that that's not possible. You have to wake up to know that you can do all those things, and you can energetically, as this huge team of beings, just like the team of the elementals and the beings of light have gone to this contaminated area and created this dome, you too can go there through your intent. Your intent is powerful. It is everything. You start to get sick at night, you intend, I'm going to be well in the morning. You start to get focused that you don't have enough, you intend, I am going to be abundant. You intend what it is that you are wanting, and you begin to align with that energy. Well, you can intend to energetically go somewhere and heal, and you can invoke that healing but you don't believe it. You do it somewhat, and you show up, but many of you here believe it, but most don't believe it. They're like, but is that really going to do anything? I don't know. And when you're not in alignment with the belief of it, then you've already lost the momentum. You've already lost that vibration that is required to do it. You have lived lifetime after lifetime after lifetime in ancient civilizations on this planet and on many others, where the capacity of your ability to heal, to shift, to change, to communicate, to build was so great, was so aligned with nature, was so attuned with the cosmos, was so interconnected, was so expanded. And you know that at the deep soul level. Go into your soul now and remember those moments. Remember being that high priest, that high priestess. Remember being able to dissolve your molecular structure and appear somewhere else. Remember being able to communicate with the animals and speak to them and show them pictures and them communicate back. Remember being able to summon them into your field. Remembering being able to look at the plant and have it grow faster and bloom more, and for the crop to expand. Remember how you could put your hand on one another and bring in the light and heal each other. Remember how you could see the colors and the auras around one another, and you could identify where there was discord and energy, and you could go in with your hand and clear it out for someone you cared about. Remembered when you weren't afraid of death because you knew it was just the journey into the next dimension. Remember, we all talk about waking up. Waking up means remembering who you are. And you see the powers that you call the powers that be, or the ones that are holding on to this old patriarchal hierarchy system based in division, separation, and greed, don't want you to remember, because if you remember, the game's over. Because you can then quickly shift, change, create, manifest, and you begin to expand into a whole new world. And that's the world, the timeline, that is one of the trajectories that you are moving toward, this new earth, which is actually in many regards the old earth. It is the merging of the old and the new, the indigenous cultures and ways and shamans and understandings and teachings and ancient civilizations, and connecting to the stars and the cosmos and the moons and the stars and the cycles, and your capacities and your abilities to choose timelines. And it is that's available to you. But if you stay asleep in fear and in forgetting and caught in these old ways of being, then there are other timelines that could unfold. And that is not to bring up fear, for whatever timeline chooses to unfold will unfold. But from our perspective and from the galactic perspective, we're here cheering you all on. We're saying, come on, guys, you got this. And we're here with you, and you do. And we see and hold within and around you and the earth, the unfolding of this beautiful timeline for all of you. And you are aware of that. And some will move into that energetically and some will not. And that's okay. And then you'll just repeat, and that's okay. So you get to choose. So we want to work with you with the timelines. We want to show you how to navigate them, how to choose them, how to awaken these gifts. And so you've got this, and we're here to support you. We came through Kelly, 30 some years ago. We've been coming on the planet to people all across the globe, and we are right there. We're right there with you all the time. We're knocking on your third eye. We're saying hello. We're right here. Just let us in, which is letting in the higher aspects, the higher frequencies, the higher vibrations, and the remembering of your divine self, because your divine self is projecting who you are now, and it is projecting where you are now. And when you get to fully open up complete communication with it, without having a block in between, which you perceive as a veil or a doorway in a sense, and you have direct link to that I am presence, and you're in direct communication, you get to have and begin to embody your divinity while still being in human form and experiencing the beauty of the senses and the human experiences, which is why you chose to be here, what it is that you are doing. But you get to do it from a whole new level, and it was so much more fun. It's like you're painting something right now, but you only have one brush and one color. But if you would remember who you are, you have this whole palette, and that's what we want for you. We want you to be able to see the rainbow. We want you to be able to see the palette of your creation. And so today, as we're going into meditation now, we want to go into the dome and invite you to work with the elementals and remember them. Remember their essence, their spirit. You used to talk to them and play with them. Feel into them, know who they are, and know that you can contribute to the cleaning up of this toxic spill. So let's do that, all right? Take a nice deep breath. Breathing in love and letting go of fear, and breathing in love and letting go of fear. breathing in the divinity of who you are, breathing in the vastness and the expansion of your being, breathing in all of that and more, coming into your body, coming into the here and now. Relaxing, dropping your shoulders and dropping all of your muscles as they begin to relax. Letting go and moving into a deeper and deeper state of consciousness. Allowing your eyes to become heavier and heavier. Attuning to the elemental beings. If you are wanting, you may hold a crystal or just feel the pulsation of the great Mother Earth. Inviting the realms of the elementals, the fairies, the divas, the dwarfs, the elves, and the gnomes. The beings of the earth in which you once played with and knew into your field. Recognizing that they love you, that they've always been here, beginning to feel their energy, their joy, their playfulness. Sometimes they're a little mischievous, but we won't attune to that. Today they are here for business of healing of the great Mother Earth, feeling her presence, allowing your energy to drop down into the earth, feeling the energy going down your pranic tube into your solar plexus, dropping down into the sacral, into your root. You're getting heavier and heavier. You're dropping down further and further into the core of the Great Mother. Feel the beating of her heart and her presence and her power. You're in the darkness and the emptiness of her space that is open and yet rich and filled with energy. Feel yourself moving deeper and deeper into the earth as you're going to move through a passageway. This passageway is also used by the different beings that live and dwell in the earth, in dimensions in which you have forgotten of. Notice a doorway in front of you. As it begins to open, recognize that it seems empty, as if you're walking into a cave or a very dark place where you cannot see, where there is nothing and no one. In the forgetting of your problems and your being yourself in your name, leaving behind your human endeavors to expand and travel through this dark cave, allow yourself to let go more and more, traveling through this space as you are beginning to spiraling through the space and through the earth, moving very rapidly now as you are spiraling and spiraling and spiraling, aware that there is a beautiful bright light in front of you. Allow yourself to move toward this light. This light is very warm and loving. It is glowing in and out, as if it is pulsating and inviting you towards it. Allowing yourself to move toward the light, you find yourself in an open meadow, and in this meadow are blooming flowers and a waterfall. And there is moss near your feet and a babbling brook. It is magical. There is a rainbow and clouds. And things are glistening and shimmering as if you have entered into a magical land that is mystical and celestial. Feeling and aware that you are there, begin to tune into the elements there. See if you can begin to feel their spirit. Notice if perhaps a fairy is nearby, near a blooming flower. Perhaps you see the scurrying of an elf. Tuning into the water spirits and the earth spirits in the air. Feel the presence of the elemental and diva beings. Become aware of this magical place where they dwell and live in a dimension not far from your own. It is such a beautiful and magical place. And as you are becoming more and more familiar with it, a mist begins to roll in, almost like a fog. And as the fog is coming in, it comes close. And all of a sudden, you cannot see very clearly, and things are obscured from your vision. You stay there present and focused, and through the mist, you start to see the formation of something emerging. It is the beautiful goddess. Her name is Danu. She says, I have come to bless you and to bless the waters. For I see the suffering and the pain in the animals and the fish, the babies and the children. I feel the vibration of the confusion and the mistrust, the burning in the eyes and the fear as the smoke is billowing in the sky. I come to bring healing and I ask for your assistance. I am a queen, a goddess of the elements. I come from the Celtic world. And I am alive, and I am here, and I am well. I come to ask you to assist, for we have done everything that we can. We have contained this toxic waste that has been born from greed. And we are holding it, but we need your help now. We need you to come in. We are here with our council. To my left is the element that is holding the vibration of the earth. This energy wears a brown robe. He is a bit heavier and dense. He wears a crown, for he holds a high stature. You may sense his feeling and energy and vibration. He's holding the element of the earth in this healing ritual and ceremony today. I, as Daniel, will hold the energy for the water element today. And on the other side of me is the beautiful queen as she whirls and twirls around with her fairy wings, for she will be holding the vibration and the energy today of the air. We have each been given assignments by higher beings to assist in the cleaning of this toxic waste, but we need your support. We're going to address it and come in many directions, for it is the earth would like to absorb the toxins with a clay that they have brought, where many elves have gathered and brought together this clay, along with a specific type of moss called peat moss. This will absorb the toxins so that it does not drop down into the water table and begin to infiltrate into the earth, spreading out into the wells of many people that will drink it and into the soil of the food that will be grown. Begin to feel and sense this place. We are tuning it now vibrationally as you are connected, and right now feel yourself in East Palestine, in Ohio, at the site of the contamination, standing there with the earth beneath you. As you stand there, you might feel the energy and the intensity and those who are suffering. Your attention now is to be fully and completely focused on the earth elemental vibration of this beautiful king who is here holding the frequency for you. He is handing you clay in your hands, and he is also giving you some peat moss. You feel it in your hand and know it is powerful. We have infused it with a certain frequency that allows it to absorb the toxins, but allows it to be held there and contained. Feel this in your hand and notice that you are standing on this toxic ground. You may feel called to move in a specific direction or a specific place that is calling out to you. This clay you're holding carries a very magical quality, as does the moss. It is not ordinary in any way. It is able to absorb, almost pull in the toxins and hold it in itself. Feeling that it magnetizes the toxicity to it and it neutralizes it. You may go now any place in this region where you feel called to. Remember, you don't have to walk step by step. You can transport through consciousness to where you are called. It might be in the dome where we have contained the energy, or it might even be a bit outside of it. Wherever you are being called, you may go and place the clay. Place it down upon the earth. And as you do so, I ask you to drop into your heart. And as you move into your heart, I ask you to feel all of the love that you have for the earth. How grateful you are for her and her beauty. How grateful you are for her soil. How grateful you are that her soil gives birth to food that nourishes you. How grateful you are to her life-giving force. How you come in peace to love her today. How you come to tell her that you are so sorry for any time that you have hurt her or disrespected her or taken resources from her unnecessarily. You come as an offering. You come in peace. And you come with the magic clay given to you by the elders and the elementals. And you may place it now wherever you are. And as you do so, you'll begin to feel the black toxins, the goop, being attracted to it as if it is being magnetized and pulled into this clay. as it comes into the clay and the peat moss, if you place it there, this will neutralize it and absorb and contain it, pulling it out of the water tables. Just allow yourself to be present with this. There is so much gratitude from the earth elemental. He recognizes that this procedure may seem strange to you, but it is this clay that absorbs the toxins. And it is in that particular space where you place it that they have the capacity to fully neutralize it. It is a clay that is not known to you in your way of understanding. There are all of you doing this together now, and this is making a huge difference. The elementals begin to dance and sing. They are so grateful for all of you placing it around as they feel like spider webs of dark blackness and toxicity being pulled into it, knowing it is being neutralized and absorbed here so that it will not pass deeper and further into the systems. You may leave that now and know that that is a gift that you have given, something you have done, and we are very grateful. It is now that the fairy of the elemental of air is flittering about. Tuning into her energy, she is singing a song that carries a certain vibration. It isn't one that you can hear in your realm, but she is singing to the earth, feeling her vibration tune into the spirit of the air. See if you can sense the spirit of the wind and the air itself. As you connect to it, bring your awareness and consciousness outside of the dome for a moment. And she is going to hand you, as you are with her flying around the dome, something that almost looks like a straw. She knows that this seems strange, but she needs you to do this procedure. You're going to place the straw upon the dome, and as you do so, you're going to blow air, all of the air that you have, into the dome. And as you do that, it pushes the air into the energy and the areas that are contaminated, and it forces it out. It's going into the earth. You're blasting air into the earth. And as you blast the air into it, what starts to happen is it pushes the toxins out and they become neutralized. Just keep blowing through the straw into the earth. And when you blow, blow with love. Hold as much love as you can in your heart for the earth. As much gratitude for the moments that you felt the wind on your face, for a windy night or the thunderstorm that came by, the witnessing of the trees blowing, the leaves falling, the feeling and the purification of the wind. This wind element asks you to keep blowing into the earth. And as you are blowing, the chemicals are being forced out of the water table back into the air, where they are being dispersed in enough space that they are neutralizing. Blowing into the earth. Keep blowing, blowing with love, trusting that you are doing good work here. When you feel complete with that, they begin to dance and sing as they see all of the blowing that's happened from all over the world into this area and the water table, and the diffusing and the neutralizing of the toxin. As Danu now appears in front of you with water spilling over like a fountain in twirling spirals. She moves close to you as the water falls upon you. And as you receive the blessing of this water, she asks that you may bless it as if it is going through a filtration system, like reverse osmosis. All of the water in the region is moving through Danu. She is willing to receive it. She wants you to go now across the region and to gather the water in a bucket, in an etheric bucket. Go to the stream where the fish were floating. Go to wherever there is water. Perhaps you go into the home of someone and fill the bucket from their faucet. Go and get as many buckets of this water as you can, and do it from a deep place of love. Keep filling the buckets, as many and as large as you can carry. Gathering the buckets, all of you now. You're all gathering them and bringing them to Danu. She holds in front of her this beautiful fountain as if it is swirling with a triple spiral. And she asks you to simply pour the love that you have and the bucket filled with the toxins inside her primordial womb. And as she receives it, it filtrates it, it reverses it, it filters it, it neutralizes it. And this is her gift to all of you. But she can't do it without you. She needs you to bring it to her. She needs you to bring it to her. And once you have filled the bucket and brought it to her, feeling it moving into her primordial energy, into her womb, spilling over and clearing and purifying as it rains down upon the community with clear and beautiful water, go and get another bucket. Go to the stream further down. Go to the toxic site right where it happened. Go wherever you are being asked, wherever you are being called to, whoever is calling to you. Take your bucket and dip it inside the water and fill it from the stream or fill it from the lake. Fill the water and bring it to her. And as you bring it to her, pour the bucket over and into her as it goes through her, through the spiraling system, filtrating and neutralizing it, clearing and healing it. And you can keep going and getting as many buckets and as filling as much as you would like. For she has an infinite pool of energy to filtrate these toxins and to return them to a neutral state, allowing the energy to be filtrated. Continue giving her more and more and more water. Loving her and loving the water. Moving into gratitude for water, the life force of water, that you are not alive without water, the balancing of water on the earth, the importance of the cleanliness of the water, the frequency of the water, the molecular structure. And now as you pour it again into her beautiful, vast energy where she is holding it, notice the geometry and the patterns. And as you pour the water on it, see that she is changing the whole molecular structure, the crystalline energy as it is blooming into the most beautiful formations. Feel the formations changing. Feel the water in this whole area changing. Feel it singing. Feel it feeling your love. Feel it turning into crystalline light. Knowing that it is sensing the blessings, the love, the healing that you are sending it. Holding the own water that you have, holding your own body, changing all this water by loving it, changing all this water by feeling gratitude for it, changing all this water by blessing it from your heart with as much love as you can hold. You are worthy and lovable, and you are helping so much. And Danyu is so grateful as she is receiving it and is coming in so fast, bucket after bucket after bucket. And now that it is turning and shifting and changing into these beautiful crystals, she begins to open up and she begins to rise. And rise as if she is floating like an angel above the clouds, moving outside of the dome. And as she hovers now like a beautiful sparkling star of light above the dome, she begins to simply allow the water to fall like a beautiful waterfall. And the water begins to fall on the area. And the whole area receives healing. All of it is being healed. The people are feeling at ease. The animals are coming back to life. The fish are awakening. The streams are clearing. The crops are blooming and growing. The air is crisp and clear. And all of the beings and elementals are dancing and playing and splashing in the water. And everything is coming back to life. And this water now is moving through into all of the different tributaries and aquifers and basins, moving through the different areas and the states, moving through everything, connecting to all of the webs of water that interlock and connect to one another through the oceans and the lakes and the rivers and the creeks around the globe. And now she begins to get even bigger. So big as the sea itself, holding a vat of crystalline, beautiful singing water, vibrating with healing light and love. And she asks you to stand beneath her as she opens the floodgates and the water pours down on you into your crown, washing over your head, washing into and around your face, into your third eye, awakening your gifts of remembering, opening up your senses, clearing away everything, clearing and cleansing your eyes so you may see more clearly, opening your ears so you may hear more clearly, opening and clearing your mouth so you may speak with joy and love and peace and authority and courage and strength as the energy washes over, releasing the weight of your shoulders. Feeling the blessings roll down you and the energy cleansing your chest and clearing your lungs, and you're breathing bigger and stronger and wider, and feel the water cleansing and moving and rolling down your back as your body is erect and straight, and cleaning out the toxins in your body and washing away the energies that are old and stagnant, and washing away your fears and washing away any sludge and old energies and old belief systems connected to the old matrix, and washing away and cleaning out any ancestral energies and cleaning out old things from the past in your cells and your tissues and your organs, washing away and cleaning your liver and your heart and your spleen and your stomach and your intestines, and clearing and washing and moving through your intestines and your bladder, and washing and filling it with beautiful crystalline loving waters from the great goddess, moving through your whole body as you're sitting now in a pool of crystalline silver light that is swirling all around you with this blessed water, reminding you of who you are. Remember who you are. She asks of you at night to please come and keep filling your buckets and bringing them to her, as she will purify them for you and for the great Mother Earth and for all the people and all the animals and all the plants and all the crystals. And so it is. She blesses your water near you, and she asks that for the rest of this day and as many days as you can remember, that every time you drink water, you thank it and you bless it, and you ask Dan Yu to bless it as it moves through her filtration system, vibrating with love. And so it is. They continue to hold the dome, allowing it to fill up now with this water, telling you that you will see a rainbow that will appear as a sign of your work. Pay attention. It might be in the sky. It might be in a water that you look at in the reflection. It might be in the sun hitting a crystal. It might be on a napkin or a book or a card. But it will appear to you in the next 3 days as a sign that the work you did today is important and real, and that you matter. So with that, we send to you all of our love and all of our light. Much gratitude, many blessings, and good day.
Good day. Thank you, Mom. And I just want to say to everybody, please share this when we put it on YouTube. We want as many people as possible doing this meditation, healing the water. So please share it. Please invite people to come to these calls as much as possible. And if you want to deepen your work with Raphael, you can always check out our website or schedule a private meeting with me for free. And I'd love to meet you. So please share this video. Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for staying on past time, and keep working with the elementals and the beings and the energy and sending light, okay? We're doing really good work, guys. I love you so much. And tonight when you go to bed, just keep seeing yourself bringing those buckets to Danielle and just keep giving them to her as we heal the waters across the globe. All right. Love you so much. I see my IM members in the morning for personal power key code. Anybody wants to do keeper of time and create new timelines, that's the next code. So I love you so much. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Thank you. Mwah. You can, I unmuted you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bless you all.
Thank you.